I definitely believe that AI could bring a lot of progress, as always with technology, but it depends on how we use this technology and what is the purpose of the use of technology.
Welcome to a new episode of Let's Turn the Tide by Veolia Near and Middle East. I'm Nadine Zidani, your host, and today I'm excited to introduce a special series dedicated to one of the most transformative forces of our time, artificial intelligence. In today's episode, we begin with the essentials. What is really AI? What do all the buzzwords really mean? What are the risks, the opportunities, and how AI can accelerate sustainable development? To help us unpack these topics, I'm joined by Professor Nathalie Martial Braz, Vice Chancellor of Sorbonne University, Abu Dhabi, and a leading expert in digital and data law. She advised institutions like the European Parliament on the legal and ethical challenges of emerging technologies, from AI to fintech, making her the perfect voice to kick off our special series. Nathalie, thank you for being with us and for welcoming us in your beautiful university library.
Thank you very much, Nadine. It's my pleasure. Welcome to Sorbonne University.
Thank you so much. So Nathalie, we have a lot to unpack in this conversation. So to start with, we know that AI is making rapid progress, and we see that, all over the news every single day. But I want to ask you, is it really a revolution? What I mean by that is that something completely new or more part of a longer technological evolution?
Yeah, so for the first question, I will answer yes and no. Of course, it's a revolution, and the use case that we'll see in the future for the use of AI, and most of that on generative AI. But the AI technology is not absolutely new. In fact, we use algorithms since a long time, and we use it in a different way now and before. But since a long time, we have technology who is working based on the data that we can collect on different sort of way. Some data that we are giving, for example, with the different internet used, or for the daily action that we can do. For example, when you are taking the metro, or when you are using your platform for visualizing some movies. On that, you let some traces on the internet or on your journey, your travel journey, and all those data can be used by some algorithm. Since a long time, we have that we call the statistic algorithm, and that is a sort of AI, as we can call it. But in this case, there is no deep learning of the algorithm. That means, in fact, the algorithm is just trained to reproduce all the time the same action. And that sort of technology is quite not old, but it's not a new technology. And you have another sort of technology where the algorithm is learning itself and is now able to take some independent and autonomous decision. And this is the new revolution. And with that, since now 2 or 3 years, based on this technology, the scientists develop that we call the generative AI, where you have a speaking agent, a conversational agent, and you can, with this agent, have a proper discussion, and this agent is able to take decision by himself and is able to have an interaction with you. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the new revolution is that we can use this technology in many different ways and in our daily activities, where we can make, in fact, a productivity gain. And that is the revolution, because we will use it more and more in the future, and that will change our lives.
So can I say that the algorithm is becoming smarter than it was before, in a way?
I Don't say that. I won't say that. I think the algorithm is not becoming smarter. Probably we are developing a smarter algorithm, which is quite different. The algorithm is just a computer program, basically. And the important thing in this algorithm is the data and the database that we are giving to the algorithm. But at the beginning of the process, we need to code properly the algorithm, because the algorithm will just act based on the order that the human is giving at the beginning. The most important is how we develop the algorithm at the early beginning.
And we train them, I guess.
Of course, we train them with the data along the journey. And that's, of course, where is it very important to be careful on. As I said, in our daily life, we let a lot of personal data in many ways. I think the most important probably is the data that we are giving voluntarily on the internet, on, for example, on the social media, and on all the use that we are doing with a lot of willingness on internet, and probably our kids more than us. And those data are very important, because it's not the data itself. It's the fact that the interaction between the data and all the different other information that you can collect online. For example, your localization. For example, if you are taking the metro, the place where you are circulating, the different call you can have, your friends on your phone. So with all the different information, you can profile people. And with this sort of profile, you can have a better understanding of the person. When you're creating some database with this interaction of data, you train your algorithm to recognize, in fact, this sort of profile. And as I said, the computer will just think by repetition, and he will learn more and more by all these database. It will be nourished, if I can say. So at the end of the day, your algorithm will have a perfect knowledge of the profiles of the people, and based on that, he will reproduce the same decision. And for that reason, precisely, it's important to be very careful, because you create some bias, reproducing bias. Every time, the algorithm will recognize the same profile and will emphasize, in fact, the same profiles. And at the end of the day, he won't decide differently as the database you gave to him. So that's the reason, in fact, there is two different layers where the data intervene with the algorithm. At the early beginning, there is the data for training algorithm. And for most of the process that began by this training use of data. And after that, there is the data that you will give for your agent, for your conversational agent, ChatGPT, for example, to obtain an answer.
Yeah.
But this answer, you can't obtain her if you didn't train before the algorithm. So that's the reason it's quite complicated to understand those two layers. And in these two different layers, you will have two different interactions. Because on the first one, probably you as an end user, you're not
going to see anything, yeah.
Absolutely not. You are not involved in this process. But the data you are giving at this level, that could be personal data protected by, of course, data protection right. That could be also content protected by an IP right, intellectual property right, a copyright, or we can imagine a trademark right. So we can imagine different sort of protection. But this first content, which is given to train the algorithm, could be protected. And the second one, the same. But on the second one, you have the end of. On the first one, probably you don't have. So that's where, in fact, we need to be very careful on the data we are giving. And that is the key.
You touched upon Gen AI, what we call generative AI. So now I want for our audience to kind of understand a little bit more all, the jargon, I would say, around AI, because we hear words like Gen AI, LLMs, or prompt engineering. So can you help us make sense of those words, in a simple and relatable manner, if you can?
I will try. uh, First of all, as I said, artificial intelligence, basically, that means algorithm system. Okay? Your algorithm will act as you ask him. So during a long time, we ask very, I would say, simple action, like, for example, conducing a plane, or just answering on a very easy question. Now we go a little bit further, like the Web 2.0. You have an interaction with the algorithm, and that is the change made by generative AI. That means your AI won't just answer a question. It will elaborate, it will generate a full thinking, a full picture. It will elaborate a proper long answer or long content to answer in all the different aspects. For that reason, in fact, the question you will ask is quite important at the beginning. That's where we talk about prompt engineering. The prompt is the comment you will met on your algorithm. That means if you don't ask properly the question, he won't be able to answer properly. That's where, in fact, the art of prompting is quite important. If you use this generative AI properly, normally you will be able to go deeper and deeper. That we call an iterative system. That means it will give you a first answer, and if this answer is not satisfying you, you can continue the conversation, and it will go further in the way he thinks. So that's where you have the importance of making a good prompt to be sure that you can generate proper content made by the LLM. So I don't know if it's simple and clearer.
No, it's very clear actually, because we understand now why sometimes we are kind of frustrated by, ChatGPT and the
Absolutely.
like, because we're just not asking properly,
Exactly.
or giving enough context to our request, and we are getting like not a good quality, I would say, answer from.
And for that, I think we need to be careful at two levels. There is the first one where we ask something to the algorithm, and it is not able to answer because it's not probably well oriented at the beginning. But there is also another risk: is the algorithm is trained to answer. Basically, he won't never say "I don't know."
That's true.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
he cannot, because he is
and
fact,
sometimes it comes up with answers like completely far-fetched answers.
Absolutely,
Okay.
and that is the second point where we need to be very aware of, because the order we gave at the early beginning to the algorithm is to answer. So it will answer in any case, even it doesn't have the answer, or even the answer is not true. That's the reason we need to train everybody, all the population, and I think that is one of the major risks, to just verify the answer, to be sure that the source which is given by the algorithm is true. Because as he is trained to answer, he will answer even the answer is wrong.
In terms of sectors in which AI is having a huge impact, can you tell us more about that? Like which sectors or fields are most impacted nowadays?
In fact, I think every sectors will be impacted by technology, from creation to, of course, office task, and of course, environments sectors, energy sectors, medical sectors. Now we have a lot of example of algorithm who are used to or trained to diagnosis very specific disease, because the capacity of exploring situation, images, data of the computer is much more important than of the human being, of the different doctors, and you can cross the different field of expertise. So, of course, there is no field which won't be impacted by technology. Some of the sectors will be in danger. Some other would just benefit with the AI. But in every sectors, you can have an impact. For example, in the sectors of the creation, as now you can ask an algorithm to create a story, to write a song, to write a
Books,
poem,
yeah.
to absolutely, or to just create a picture. Or we saw it with this worldwide passion for the Ghibli studio design, where everybody were reproducing this. In fact, we see that it will be very complicated to not being impacted in our daily life, in fact, by AI. And I think in somehow it's a very good thing if we are able to probably regulate, regulate this technology to just keep the good and avoid the danger or the risk of this technology.
Talking about the good with AI, you know, there is one figure that I heard of a couple of months ago from the United Nations, is the fact that AI could help achieve up to 70% of the Sustainable Development Goals, and we know how late, you know, we are, you know, in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. So, how could AI, you know, help us in issues like climate change or, you know, the environment at large?
Yeah, in fact, AI, as I mentioned, AI is a tool, is a fantastic tool, and the most important probably is because the system could help us first to monitor the use of energy, to monitor the impact, the carbon footprint that we have, to try to bring also new technology to replace some very bad habits that we can have, and spot more specifically, in fact, the fields where we have the major impact on the environment. So for all this reason, in fact, we can use it, but at the same time, the carbon footprint of the AI itself, it's also something that we need to be worried about, and to be sure that we cannot use improperly the AI.
But we do have the technology.
Exactly. So I definitely believe that AI could bring a lot of progress, as always with technology, but it depends on how we use this technology and what is the purpose of the use of technology.
Mm-hmm. And Nathalie, since we are, you know, in Abu Dhabi today, and, you know, in the Middle East region, I'm quite curious to know how is the Middle East and the UAE in particular positioning itself in the global AI movement, and if you have any figures or examples you could share with us.
I think today probably the place where the things happen, it's here in the Middle East, and most precisely in Abu Dhabi. First of all, because they definitely invest on this technology, and invest at all levels. Of course, at the level of infrastructure, and on that, the partnership with the France is very important for us as French people, but also for the UAE, because there is a proper partnership. We will share technology, knowledge, and of course funding. But there is also many things which are happening here in Abu Dhabi. When we installed in 2019 the first Sky, the lab of AI at Sorbonne University, we were at that time the first in the region, the first in UAE to launch this sort of research. At that time, there were no AI university in Abu Dhabi. Now, with the university MBZ for artificial intelligence, they reached the 5th position in terms of scientific publication, which is very important. Just to give you a comparison, the France, the publication for French scientists is at the 6th level. So we are behind the UAE. That means, first, they are very good, and secondly, they are very quick. They are very fast in the way they are moving on AI. So I think definitely it's a very good move to shift from a carbon economy to the future economy of this country. They invest on knowledge, and I think that is absolutely fantastic to be part of this movement, of this journey, and they most of that invest on AI. That could be a very important movement for the country to play an instrumental role in the development of the technology right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because we even heard, I think a week ago in the news that there will be, courses, education on
Absolutely.
AI, in schools in the UAE. So we are definitely moving, into that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's also participating to this move of the UAE in the AI journey. They want to bring their population. By educating children very young, I think is the key to bring them to this technology. AI, I would say it's two things. It's data, as I said, and the second pillar or the second leg of AI is the code. So you need to train the kids, as you train them to speak another language or a foreign language, to train them to code, to understand. I mentioned it previously, you need to be able to control the machine, to control the algorithm. So for that, we need to be sure that probably not everybody, but most important part of the people are able to open the black box and to see and to read the code to be sure that there is no mistake in the code. So by learning, and I hope, I don't know what will be the program of these new mandatory classes in the curriculum of the young UAE citizen, but I hope that there will be training to code. And for sure, they have this willingness to bring their population for this competency. We see it here in Sorbonne by the new passion for math. They definitely want to train their people to be able to make math at the highest level, because you need, in fact, if you want to make algorithm, you need to be
this
able.
expertise.
Exactly, you need to be at least a bit of scientist to understand the code, not at the lower level, but if you want to develop some algorithm or everything. And we see that, and they definitely want to bring a very high level curriculum of math in the country, as we have, in fact, in Europe, in most of the countries. There is some, there are some elites curriculum of math, and they definitely want to import this sort of training. So we are very happy to participate to that. And we see, just to give you a number, we doubled the number of students in the first year of math between last year and the next fall 2025.
Because of AI?
Probably. We don't have the key and we don't ask, but that could be something very interesting to ask for the future student, why they choose math rather than business or economics, which was the most important, curriculum or major by the past. So probably because they definitely want to be part of this new scientific movement here in the country, and probably as well because there is some job at the end.
Yeah, and they are known to be very, very visionary, so
Absolutely.
It's not the surprise.
No, not at all.
To wrap up, this episode, Nathalie, we are doing a quick fire Q&A to kind of clear up common misconceptions around AI, although you tackled some of them. So I want short answers only.
Promise, I will try.
Let's go. Number 1, will AI take my job?
No.
Good. Number 2, is AI going to become smarter than humans and take over the world?
It depends on humans.
Number 3, AI is always objective and correct.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it's very clear from our conversation.
Absolutely not.
Number 4, AI is only for tech experts. Regular people don't use or need it.
Absolutely wrong. Yeah, absolutely wrong.
And number 5, does AI think or feel like a human brain?
Absolutely not. And unfortunately not.
So it's good. It's good for us.
Definitely. And I think we need to stay very positive on AI. We won't be replaced by AI. Where I said that it depends of human, because as every new technology, it will depend how we use it. We need human. In fact, for me, the AI will just facilitate, some tasks that they don't have any added value in our daily routine. But if we are smart and we use it smartly, that will be a way to enhance our activities and not replace it. So we need to be smart on how we use it and probably educate people.
And
like
learn about
time.
it, as you said. I think that's one of the main message of,
absolutely.
Of our conversation. Thank you so much, Nathalie. I know you have a very busy schedule, so thanks for making it to our episode.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the end of this first episode in our special AI series, brought to you by Veolia Near and Middle East in collaboration with Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi. Please don't forget to subscribe to Veolia Near and Middle East YouTube channel and follow us on Let's Turn the Tide in your favorite podcast platform, so you won't miss what's coming next.